Hello, I'm Ian,
And I am Sam.
and we welcome you to the latest episode of Such a Ranker. The show is simple. We take 7 completely random films and try to rank them from worst to best. Samuel,
Well done.
what could possibly go wrong?
Many, many things.
Many things could go wrong. So should we tell the audience what 7 movies are in the vault this week?
Please.
So, we've got Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse 2018, not from Phil Lord. From 3 random directors that aren't Phil Lord, and yet he seems to get all the credit for it.
Yes.
So, yes, that's a lovely animation, but...
Well, it's not. It's possibly the animation achievement of the last 10 years.
20 years? 25 years?
No,
I'd probably
not that
say
far
this
back.
this 21st century.
No. Well, possibly actually.
Possibly, like, grand scheme of things.
But will it be having its anniversary bicentennially?
Okay, I see what you've done there. 1999's Bicentennial Man is our film number 2 to put on this ranking list.
Yes.
Chris Columbus. This is a
The Forrest
random
Gump of robots.
yes, the unsuccessful Forrest Gump of robots. And that will be going up against 1993's...
I tell you what, did Bicentennial Man have a true romance?
That's what you did. I was just going to go through the list, but okay. 1993's True Romance with Tony Scott.
Is that what you're saying?
that-
No mention of Tarantino.
I'm not smart enough to transition across or anything like that.
Oh, okay.
Tarantino written, Tony Scott directed. Pretty much the only adaptation of Tarantino's work that Tarantino actually likes.
Yes, until next year when David Fincher makes Once Upon a Time in
Yes,
Brad Pitt.
but we don't quite know how. I mean, he could turn around and say he absolutely hates it, so we don't.
That's true.
do you know?
Yeah, True Romance doesn't involve a cabin or in the woods, but
Nice.
the film does.
But the film does, and number 4 on our list is The Cabin in the Woods, 2012. Well, 2011, 2012. The actual release date is kind of dependent
Well,
on...
we'll discuss a little known fact about this later on in the pod,
Yes.
just to build some anticipation.
Ooh.
I'll tell you a film that didn't build anticipation: Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
Yes, a film that we are surprisingly mixed on, but don't have enough time to explain exactly why. We'll just have to leave it like that. We'll build anticipation to a Last Jedi episode. Just know that we are incredibly split on this, but we don't have the time to go into it.
We do. We've got 10 seconds.
We do, yeah. Rian Johnson, Epic from 2017.
Rian?
Ryan.
thought
Rian?
you said Rian.
I've always
It's
said Rian.
it's
'cause
Ryan.
I've always been kind of tripped up by the spelling of his name, so I've always said Rian. Like, you know...
It's just Ryan.
Well, yeah, but you know, it's like Owen, and like the Welsh version of Owen doesn't read like Owen.
Yeah, but Ryan
And
Johnson
Ewan
is Welsh.
and Ian and all stuff like that. So,
Yeah, but every Ian is Ian.
but I thought Ryan Johnson was from somewhere like Wales because of the spelling of his name. Couldn't have been more wrong.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, that's why I say Rian every so often. I'm a slave to the pronunciation.
Okay. Do you know how to spell Pikachu?
I do know how to spell Pikachu
Oh,
with me and you.
there you go. Do you know how to spell detective? That's a little 7 reference there.
I was going to say, what picture are you painting from this film? Yes, Pokemon Detective Pikachu is number 6 film on our list, 2019. Rob Letterman. It's pretty much a vehicle for Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
Again, this is pretty much what the height of Deadpool. At least Deadpool 2 was out at this point.
Yeah.
So this was crying out for Ryan Reynolds, but I also think it might be the beginning of the downslide of Ryan Reynolds at the same time.
Possibly.
Although saying that, that's a huge view on my part. It's not actually what's happening to Ryan Reynolds' career.
Yeah. What film do you think brings out slavery more, Detective Pikachu or Django Unchained?
Definitely Django Unchained.
Okay.
Yeah. So that actually ends it out. So we have well, earlier in the list we mentioned a Quentin Tarantino script. This is actually what happens when Tarantino actually writes and directs his own film, and you get a film like Django Unchained, which is our number 7th
Yes.
film on the list. So where should we start, Sam?
I think we should start where we began.
Let's do it. Into the Spider-Verse, 2018. As I mentioned, not Phil Lord. He only wrote it. But 3 directors. This, yeah. I don't think there's anything but positive things that you can say about Into the Spider-Verse, unless you're going to be contrarian in some way.
Well, I mean, it is arguably the comeback achievement in many ways for the creators involved after the Han Solo debacle.
Oh yeah, it's a
Do
bit
you
of
think that adds?
vindication,
Do you
isn't
think
it?
that adds to the?
Well, this is why I
the
say it's
acclaim?
like the Phil Lord Chris Miller thing, right?
Yeah.
Like Phil Lord gets a lot of stuff around this. Somehow Chris Miller gets that too because he's linked to Phil Lord.
Yeah.
But I think Miller just is producing it.
Yeah.
Phil Lord actually wrote it with somebody else, and then there's 3 directors.
Turned up with the Pepsis.
Exactly. So, in a weird way, it's vindication for them. But how involved they all are in this is a question mark.
Yes.
It is a remarkable piece of animation, though, and I think I actually think it transcends animation. I think it makes Marvel look silly in the way that they've approached things like multiverses and the complexities around multiverses. I think in terms of its animation and its approach to things we've not seen on screen and things we've not seen with animation at that level, I think is inspiring. I think, yeah, as a full package, I think it doesn't do a lot wrong. Whether it appeals to its intended audience is a slightly separate conversation, because I'm not sure. I think there is an argument that actually, while simplistic and its approach to the storytelling, I think is insanely good considering how complicated the multiverse stuff can get. I do think that it's also quite highbrow for its audience if you're, say, aiming for a room of 8-year-olds.
Yes. Well, my own small human was very confused by the style to the point where he didn't know if it was Spider-Man or not.
Yeah.
Because he's so used to normal Spider-Man.
Yeah, and it's very trippy. It's quite stroby.
Yes.
It's approached unless you're paying attention to the animation, it can very easily just become overwhelming.
Yes.
So I wonder if there is a bit of, say, visual mess.
Did you see this at the cinema? Because
I did see this at the cinema. I saw this as a preview screening.
Ooh.
I saw this quite far ahead, so we were doing reviews for it at the time, and I remember going to a preview screening at like 9 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday, and being like, "This is phenomenal! What's happening here? Like, this is so much better than I could have anticipated." So yes, I did see it in the cinema, and I've seen it at home since. I've seen it quite a few times.
Yeah.
Very, very impressive. I think it's one of those standout Marvel movies that you can't actually believe is from Sony. First and foremost.
Has Sony ever made a good animated film?
Over the Hedge? Or is that DreamWorks?
I think that might be DreamWorks.
Who knows? I was just pulling something out.
This film's obviously come out in like a golden era for Spider-Man films.
Yeah.
And media. So
I think actually on this list, if we're
best.
talking about ranking, that's definitely, some people said it's probably one of the best animated films of all time.
You were just Spider-Man.
Yeah, not just Spider-Man, of all time.
Yeah.
So, like, I think that then means, actually, in terms of Spider-Man movies, it's up there. I think it's very, in its simplistic elements, I think what it then does is it then stays really true to comic books, which then actually then puts it on par with, say, a Spider-Man 2. It's very hard to compare it with, say, what's going on with Marvel in the last, 15, 20 years. But it's more comparable with the earlier movies like Spider-Man 2, your Fantastic Four with Ewan Griffith, your Blade, stuff like that. It's more comparable with that than it is the New Age stuff. But I think that's too, it's positive because it still feels like a comic book movie and it's still having fun like a comic book movie.
It's a lot of fun.
And Jake Johnson's fun in it.
Yeah.
And so I think because of that, you've just got these just fun in it. Spider Noir is just weird, but it's just funny that it's Nicolas Cage. Like, it's Spider Pig. It's just all stupid stuff, but it's like, it's funny. Like, it's a legitimately funny movie. I think it's very charming, and I think because of that, it's making for a very interesting list, to put it that way.
Okay.
We've already said about the first 7 films, or the 7 films we're going to talk about today. This is going to be a very, very, very tough film to beat.
Did you have as much fun watching Bicentennial Man?
I did not.
Were you moved by Bicentennial Man?
I was not. No.
Did you like the performance of Robin Williams as Bicentennial Man?
So this is the most expensive DVD I've ever bought in my life because you cannot find it anywhere. It is not something that's readily available. It's not something that is ever going to get a Blu-ray release.
Why?
What do you mean why? It's Bicentennial Man from 1999.
Sam Neill's in it.
It has got Sam Neill. It's It's got Robin Williams in it.
Did this come out after Robin Williams won an Oscar?
Yeah, this is 99.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, and it's Chris Columbus, right? So this is
Yes.
like off the back of like Home Alone 2. So where do you start with Bicentennial Man? So it's a movie of 3 acts that are so different in tone and where they want to go that it's almost impossible to actually figure out what Bicentennial Man is. So it unravels the more of the prosthetics they take off of Robin Williams. Right?
Do you reckon this film would have been better if it was called Bicentennial Gump?
It's so weird. It's like, first and foremost, this film would never get made now. For the amount of money that's been made, it's such a shot in the dark. It doesn't make any sense at all. Sci-fi was a thing in the 90s, right? Like, but when you think this came out the same year as The Matrix, you just think, what is happening?
Wow.
The first third is a wholesome family type movie. And then he starts getting skin. And then that's when the movie goes really weird.
This sounds like Silence of the Lambs.
But then it turns into like a really weird like comedy that has weird tonal stuff in which Robin Williams, considering it's a family-related movie, at some point actually utters the words, I've got it written down here because it weirded me out so much, piece of shit. He actually says that, considering he's a robot. And bitch work. These are just all of a sudden words that you don't really relate to the first third wholesome family movie. It's just weird. There's just odd choices of things. There's actors that play the same role, depicting different characters, but of the same family. You could have recast. It just makes things more complicated. The whole thing with Robin Williams and the tonal shift, as I say, it's so odd. I can't say it's very chocolate boxy. It's very Forrest Gump. It's very over beautified in that sense. It's weird. I love that it exists. I love that this film exists because it's so fucking weird. But at the same time, that's to its absolute detriment because I can see why everybody also hates this film. I don't know if it has a legacy. I don't know.
It was on a lot when I was a kid. If it should
have a legacy. It's creepy. It's strange. It's everything about it is just so like...
It's incredibly creepy.
It hasn't aged well. It hasn't aged... It's almost like... I watched a trailer the other day, which I'm absolutely shocked it's taken me 13 years to see it. It was, what if you... It's a trailer for Mrs. Doubtfire if Mrs. Doubtfire was a horror movie. And when I watched this, I was like, you could do the same thing, but I genuinely think the original trailer for this movie is the horror movie. It's so strange, it's so weird, and watching it back is even weirder because it feels even more out of place now than it did in 99. And I can't say, it's impossible to say I hated it. It didn't annoy me, but I just cannot fathom it. I just cannot fathom it. I've just recently done a watch through of all of Matthew McConaughey's movies. And there's a couple of films on that. A film called Tiptoes and Surfer Dude. They are baffling movies. They are absolutely baffling. And Bicentennial Man almost fits in the same category of how? How did this get made? Not it's any good, it's terrible, or anything like that. It's just how. And it's not as good as Into the Spider-Verse. And that's all I can really leave this as, is that it was an experience. It was, I don't really know, having rewatched it, it's just so weird. And I'm so glad I own it on DVD. And I hate the fact I spent so much money on it. And by spent so much money on it, I mean £4. But it's still too much money to be spending on Bicentennial Man in 2025.
It was kind of written by Isaac Asimov, who's a very, very famous science fiction writer.
Great.
I think he basically kind of came up with the original idea of robots.
Okay.
So maybe this was it. Maybe the original idea of a robot was a creepy Robin Williams.
Who knows? Who knows? It's just, yeah.
The film...
And then the last third is just this weird, like,
It's very long.
courtroom drama. It's honestly, if you can go back to it and watch it, I'd recommend doing it because it's so weird that it's just there. It's not as good as Into the Spider-Verse. I really don't have much more to say about it. So, what are your thoughts on Bicentennial? I've just ranted. This feels like the Saw 3
watched
conversation.
it as I remember watching it as a child, a small child, and being quite wrapped up in it because I quite like films that sort of expand like many, many, many generations. So in my head, the idea of like Sam Neill as like an old man was quite weird. It's one of the earlier films where it kind of had that story structure. And then the latter half was so boring as a kid. He just wanders, doesn't he?
Yeah, he just goes to find other,
and then eventually
essentially other androids that are like him,
yes.
or if there is another android out there that's like him, at the same time, while also becoming the greatest like carpenter of all time.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's just Forrest.
It's just weird. Man.
It's like a mixture of like, God, what can you even compare this to? Like iRobot meets
Forrest Gump. I genuinely think that might be the best way to go. It's so chocolate boxy, pun intended.
Yeah.
That it is so almost like a movie by committee. Like it's so playing on everything. It's trying to play every instrument to get you to fall in love with it.
Yeah.
And it just every heartstring is being pulled or attempting to be pulled, and it just fails miserably. It's just it's baffling. It's absolutely baffling, and I love that it exists because of it.
True Romance.
Which
was the original name for Bicentennial Man.
Yes, I can successfully say that Bicentennial Man is probably the worst on our list. And then Spider-Man Into the Spider-Man. This is what I love about this.
Yeah.
I love this. How's that ever been
Yeah, but now we've thrown True Romance in the mix.
True Romance, the middling film so far on our ranking list. What do you think?
Wonderful. I watched this film quite late. I think I was about 20 when I first watched this.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with it within about 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think I thought it was written by Tarantino until the Christopher Walken scene with Dennis Hopper, where I was like, oh, this is definitely Tarantino writing. Did you not find the first half is a lot better than the second?
So the first, within the opening, 15, 20 minutes, it feels very Tarantino to me in as much as knowing his origins as a writer.
Yes, well, he's obsessed with comic books.
Yeah.
He's essentially...
He wrote Pulp Fiction in a video store, like a video rental store, right, where he worked. So you can see the real life, fantasy in this. So that kind of immediately made me go, no, this is Tarantino. Like, it wasn't necessarily in his prose, let's say, but definitely in his approach to the story and where it was going to go. I was like, yeah, this is definitely Tarantino. But I also want to preface that knowing I did know that Tarantino had written this when I watched it.
Yeah.
Right?
Tony Scott's best film?
No, Top Gun is...
See, I'll tell you what, if we ever get the original Top Gun on such a ranker, that's going to be fun. That film
Do you not like it?
So bad.
Oh, I love it.
I love the second one.
Yeah.
The second one is like
Maverick is
like a
insane.
pure version of the first.
Yeah.
The first one just has that 80s cringe.
That's what's brilliant about it.
Oh, no.
You seen Days of Thunder? Holy cow.
I've not seen Days of Thunder.
That's literally Top Gun, but in a car.
But
it's the same as F1 is, just Top Gun Maverick, but in an F1 car.
It literally is, yeah. Like to a scary degree. Anyway, I think True Romance is a wonderful film that does dry up a bit towards the end when I can't remember his name, but he's the hysterical. His name. He's in Stargate. I know him well, but his name escapes me. And he has like this overly dramatic scene where he's like screaming at somebody. He's like, "You were my son!" And yeah,
the dude from Frasier.
At that point, the film kind of starts to unravel for me. But it still has its moments. It's still overall a very, very, very good film. But it has but the first half, particularly with Christopher Walken and Dennis Hopper, Gary Oldman.
It's weird.
The music is glorious.
I personally, what's the best way to kind of approach this thought? I had issues with the Sicilian scene, in as much as I think it's incredibly well acted, but I think viewing it through your 2025 lens, I had issues with the things that they were trying to say and the scene itself. I think it was just where I was just viewing it, and I was just thinking like, oh, this is uncomfortable. Like, I don't get this.
I think that's like the idea
Yeah.
in the context of the scene is that it's supposed to make Christopher Walken so beyond uncomfortable with what he's hearing that he's like, this guy needs to die very quickly, which I think is the whole point of why he says, I haven't killed anybody since 1984, which in the context of the film is like 10 years. So it's like a big, like, irking moment, I suppose.
Yeah. But it's not played as in like he was offended by what was being said from either the content or just the fact that he's saying what he's saying is then leading him to be that way.
Walken?
There's no, Walken is,
he's laughing it off, but it's one of those, I think, if you don't laugh, you cry.
Yeah.
I think he's like beyond offended, and that's why, again, he takes it upon himself to shoot him.
Yeah. Close.
Would you say that Tony Scott now has a better quality per film ratio than his brother?
Yeah. Oh, unfortunately, Tony Scott kind of.
He's got a film coming out next year.
Tony Scott?
Ridley Scott.
Oh, Ridley Scott. Well, yeah, Ridley Scott is going to have films coming out forever.
Yeah, it's a science fiction blockbuster, I believe, which will be very pretentious and very bad.
Cool. Unless it's like The Martian.
But where would you... Oh, I did love The Martian.
I love The Martian.
But overall, in the realm of Tarantino and true romance, do you rate it up there? Like, as highly as some of Tarantino directed films?
No. I think, well, we're going to come to it later on, but Django is, for me, is the example of the writer and director skills of this man coming together as one. So I think there's always a missing piece in a scenario in which he's written something, but somebody else has then directed it, which does make me slightly worried about Fincher's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I'm so anticipating that.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
But it also doesn't make me hugely excited knowing that a lot of the time with Tarantino, for instance, he has a vision for what he wants to do when he's writing it. And you can see what that... you can see the sum of those two parts in what is going to be next on our list, I suppose, which we can talk about. We might as well springboard into it, is Django Unchained from 2012. This is, I think I've even written down on this, full package Tarantino.
Yes.
Compared to True Romance.
Yeah, I would say this is undisputedly the last... It's really hard to call these kind of films a crowd pleaser, but it kind of has that sort of like Tarantino throwing everything at it. Because The Hateful Eight is a bit more withdrawn, feels more like a play.
More play.
And then
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is kind of like a fantasy biopic in a way kind of film, where this is just kind of like Tarantino, like unleashing every Tarantino example. Brilliant characters, really good dialogue, incredibly gory violence.
Yeah.
And
is this
like,
DiCaprio's best performance?
Yes, I have said that for many years that I'm not angry because that's too much, but I wish he won his first Oscar for this, even though it's a supporting actor role, than The Revenant, because I think it's more showcasing his talents, and he plays a villain like to perfection. So I would say this is possibly DiCaprio's best ever performance.
Revolutionary Road.
Yeah.
That's
I do like that film a lot, but no.
The argument between him and Kate Winslet is like heartbreaking on every level.
We're not talking about that though. We're talking about him being an awful, awful man in Django Unchained.
Yeah, I know. But we spoke about performances. I can never... I completely agree. In terms of performance-wise, you can't not.
The scene with the skull is like... That should be shown in acting classes.
Yeah. And he brings a menace whenever he's on screen. There's like a real venom to his character.
He's got grim
in terms of
teeth, though. He's very
performances.
rich. He shouldn't have teeth like that if he's rich.
Yeah.
Just saying.
But yeah, it's hard not to ignore this role. One thing I definitely wrote down here is, what the hell has happened to Christoph Waltz? Where is he?
So, I think... Well, you've got to put it this way. Excuse me. He was fair. He was an older actor.
He came to Hollywood quite
when
late
these
with
films
Inglourious
were out,
Basterds, right?
and I think once you work with Tarantino, it's very hard to maintain that level of enthusiasm.
Well, because I think after this, I think the next thing he did was that, like, I always think it's almost like Hitchhiker's Guide adjacent. Didn't he do that movie?
Oh, what, the cyberpunk film?
No, that was Alita Battle Angel, wasn't it? No, he did something like...
He did a film with Roman Polanski after Django.
What's that one?
It's a film about him. I think it's John C. Reilly, Kate Winslet, and somebody else in an apartment, and it's again like a play kind of film. Can't remember what it's called.
The film that I was thinking about, after Django, he did The Zero Theorem.
Okay, I've not heard of that.
So that was a Terry Gilliam
Is it?
vehicle, and that did not do well at all.
We did Bond. He obviously played Blofeld.
That's what I was going to say. And apparently he's in an episode of Only Murders in the Building. Oh, and he's going to be in Frankenstein.
Oh, that'll be good.
Yeah. So he's done a few things,
But I mean,
like here and there.
He in this film, he is possibly my favourite supporting character ever.
Yeah.
Because basically everything he says and does is like wonderful.
Yeah.
To the point where I was like, please make a spin-off about him before he meets Django. That would be the best thing ever.
He's definitely a dialogue-heavy actor.
Oh.
If you give Christoph Waltz it's a marriage made in heaven. Tarantino's script with Christoph Waltz's performance.
Well, this is the thing. What is the best?
Inglourious Basterds.
No. You can kind you can kind of see in this film is Samuel Jackson or Christoph Waltz Tarantino's best deliverer of his dialogue.
Well, I think I don't think the opening of Inglourious Basterds is insane.
It's the greatest short film ever made.
I don't know if this is a hot take or not, though. Has Samuel L. Jackson, apart from the Pulp Fiction scene, the Ezekiel...
Yeah.
I can't remember the verse, but that one.
Strike me down with great vengeance and furious anger.
Yeah.
Those who would something, my brothers.
Yeah. So, like, that is as iconic.
I don't think...
I'm sorry, I suppose my question is...
Well, is that scene...
Is that scene as good as the opening of Inglourious Basterds?
I would say the delivery of the dialogue is better in the Pulp Fiction scene, but the tension and the scene overall in Inglourious Basterds is better.
Yeah.
Because it's not just that part, it's the whole build up from
it's the whole scene.
Samuel Jackson.
Yeah.
You're really learning about this character and like sort of what makes him tick.
Yeah.
I know you're doing that with Hans Lander too, but it's a lot more subtle and menacing.
Yeah.
And it's a lot because the farmer also makes the scene.
Yeah,
he makes the
definitely.
scene as much as
and
Christoph
the
Waltz.
guys in the floorboards and stuff like that as well. So
and it's the subtle change in his look when he says, "You're housing enemies of the state, are you not?"
Yeah,
and you're just like, Jesus, this guy's like,
what's going to happen?
Well, the one thing I will say about Inglourious Basterds is that they don't. That character, is it Hans Lander? That's his name,
well, I'm not good with names.
He does have a bit of a underwhelming defeat. I will say it's always kind of bothered me.
Oh, it's always that's what a lot of people remember from the movie, right? It's like the opening of that film is just. I mean, I saw that in the cinema.
Yeah,
and I remember you could hear a pin drop.
Yeah,
it was one of those moments where you don't get many of them, but where a cinema just falls deathly silent.
Yeah, I think. I mean, it's kind of turning into an Inglourious Basterds Django Unchained conversation, but I think Django Unchained is that like a constant, like 95% quality?
Yeah.
Where Inglourious Basterds is like 95%, and then kind of towards the very last 15 minutes, it kind of drops a bit.
Well, Inglourious, where the two films differ, is I feel like Inglourious is a series of scenes that just happen to knit together into a narrative.
Yeah.
Whereas Django is an adventure. It's a
Inglourious
story.
is kind of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood before that film, because it's kind of reality with fantasy.
Yeah.
Where Django is obviously completely its own thing.
Yeah.
Even though it's... I mean, to be fair, I mean, I love Tarantino to bits, but I watched Django, the original, and it has the exact same theme tune. Like, the exact same. And I'm like, how does he get away with that? Like, what is this? But they do. He is in the film, which I forget. I can't remember the actor's name. It's Italian.
Okay.
And when he goes to the fight, when he meets Leonardo DiCaprio's character, they're having like a little conversation. So that's a nice little nod to the original. But it's a fantastic film. I think all the performances are great. I wish Jamie Foxx kind of did more films like this.
Yeah.
That really brought out his acting chops.
Would you say that this is better than Bicentennial Man, though?
It depends what kind of context you're talking about. There's no robots in Django.
There's no like tonal shifts that you can get on board with, like distracting tonal shifts.
No.
That's a shame. It's not quite as good as Bicentennial Man, then, is it? Yeah, no, this is going to be quite high up. This one, I think. I think.
Well,
what's
your opinion?
I really like Django. I think it definitely stands out as one of the hardest thing about it is it one of Tarantino? I think Tarantino's got better movies in his catalogue. On this list, I think this will come up quite high. I don't think you can ignore Django in any list of any movies.
It's his last.
If this ended up being like 7 of the best films of all time, Django would still probably rate up there quite highly. But I prefer other movies in his back catalogue. I like Reservoir Dogs, I like Pulp Fiction. I have a real soft spot for Hateful Eight.
Yeah, I love The Hateful Eight. It's not quite as good as this, but it's not like very far off.
Yeah. So I think there's better movies from Tarantino. I think as a crowd pleaser movie goes, I think this has all the hallmarks of a good crowd pleaser movie. It's got good action to it. It's got good dialogue. It's got a good pace to it. It's funny. It's scary. It's.
I think the scene
it's great
when Hans Lander. It's not Hans Lander because that's the German, the Nazi. I can't remember his name in this film. That's very annoying.
He's like a dentist, isn't he?
He's a fake dentist.
Yeah, and there's the bit where they're standing on the cliff and they're overlooking all the guys coming to get his like a dentist wagon, and then
yeah. But yeah, the scene where he kills the deputy, and then he explains to the sheriff that the deputy was actually a wanted man, and at the end he says, "And in that sheriff, you owe me $17." He is called Dr. King Schultz.
Okay. Yes, I think this is going to be an interesting debate because, I mean, they're obviously very different movies, but I think it's going to go head to head at this stage with Into the Spider-Verse.
Bicentennial Man. Oh, sorry.
Yes, definitely. So let's chuck another one into the mix and see what we can do. So, Cabin in the Woods, 2012, Joss Whedon. Now we get to unearth that little cheeky kind of, not hot take, but that kind of mystery that you put in at the beginning of the episode.
So I believe that this is the longest gap between filming a film and releasing it in the history of Hollywood.
Really?
Like 4.5 years.
Which is weird because it's also probably the shortest gap between between a director's blockbuster release and then kind of indie horror movie.
Yes. So this film was made. Put it this way in context, this film was made before Chris Hemsworth's official Hollywood debut, and it came out after the Avengers.
Yeah.
So his first credit is Star Trek, because he plays Kirk's dad in the J.J. Abrams Star Trek films. And then 4 was 2011. So he made this when he was unknown, just known for being in Hollyoaks.
Wow.
And then became this huge...
Home and Away.
Home and Away. So, sorry, I didn't know that you were so aware of.
I mean, one's Australian.
Oh no,
and one's British.
Yeah, sorry, I got confused. So I actually meant Neighbours. I don't know why I said Hollyoaks. Hollyoaks was a good show.
Yeah, Cabin in the Woods.
It's a good laugh.
I think this is a good laugh. I think it's. It's very Joss Whedon.
I will point out we've been talking about tonal shifts. Has this got the best intentional tonal shift in the history of film?
Yes and no, but the reason why I say no to it is because of the absolute genius casting of Richard Jenkins and Bradley Whitford.
Yes.
So them in essentially the control room are the tone. The scenes then where you flick through it being a horror film and then into
Some
just
science
chaos,
fiction nightmare.
I think is one thing, but because you always have the reliance on those two in the control room, possibly one of the greatest duos, like narrating duos ever. Like I can't really give any examples other than the two grumpy men, the two grumpy Muppets.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like they're the only real other example that you can kind of give of that type of pairing. But they are so good and funny in this that they make the tone consistent.
Did you laugh hysterically the first time Chris Hemsworth died?
Yes, it was hilarious. It's honestly, I genuinely thought, first time I watched this, I thought it was genius. I genuinely thought it was genius, the way that he completely unpacked this. And I only found out recently that this isn't Joss Whedon's first attempt at this thing. Obviously, he delved in, let's say, macabre filmmaking, like kind of vampires and all stuff like that, right? Like, so obviously with Buffy and all of that lot, and he's got a lot of sci-fi in him. Didn't know that he wrote Alien 4.
Yes. Co-wrote.
Co-wrote, yeah, and
No,
I
tell a lie. I think he wrote that on his own. Yes.
No, he wrote it with. Apparently, he argues a lot with the other writer.
Of course he does.
I think it's a French guy.
He was a French director.
Okay, perhaps that's what I'm
who
thinking.
couldn't speak English during the whole production, famously. No, it was Joss Whedon. Just him.
Just so, yeah, I think he must have butted heads then with the director. And then there was something else. Joss Whedon's been credited on so much. Toy Story.
Yep, he co-wrote that with the other Pixar boys.
So he's got quite a lot of, obviously, he's been around for a long time writing stuff. So he has tenure in this, like, area, should we say? Like, just, like, kind of the horror tropes and stuff like that. I thought it was genius. The twist is so much fun. Like, it's just fun. Like, it's not like a thriller. It's not a horror. It's just fun. And it's chaos.
Unique.
The scene when they break into the facility and all of the agents are in like the elevator hallway and you just hear ding as all the elevators come down and all of the beasts just come out into the corridor. So much fun.
Yeah.
So much fun.
It's I remember watching it for the first time and it is one of those like your mouth's open because you just could not see this coming.
Yeah.
Like even like 20, 30 minutes before.
Yeah. But then it builds on that. Like once it makes that twist, it's like, oh, I'm not done.
Oh yeah, it just keeps
and it keeps going and going and going. And then all of a sudden, in comes Sigourney Weaver at the end. And you're just like, what is going to happen now? Like, what is going to happen now? And it's just this massive blood ritual. And it's like, you're all right. You're all right. I'm on board with this. Like, it's one of those, we say it so many times, Malignant.
Yes.
Right? You have to be on board, right? The Barbarian did the same thing. If you are not on board with that twist, you can tell why people could hate it. But this was so clever in as much as it just took all of the tropes, all of the cliche, and made it a game.
Yeah.
It did something fun with it. It's very, very Joss Whedon, right? Joss Whedon, again, man aside, because we spoke about this with Much Ado About Nothing, right? It's very hard to divorce the man from work. But what you can say when you're looking at his body of work, that his Joss Whedoning dialogue, the way that he approaches storytelling and so on and so forth, is now overwrought, given the fact that it's basically the foundation for Marvel. So there is elements where if you want to watch this now, I could see people not necessarily having the patience with it, because there is obviously so much similarity with what he did with Avengers and all that lot, and then with here too. But it is good fun. It's like a surprisingly good movie that was made much, much, much before, or quite far before he was even starting on things like Avengers. So, yeah,
I wonder why it took so long for it to come out.
Was it something to do with the writers' strike?
Oh,
because that would have been 2012. I think this came out in the UK in April 2012. Literally, must have been about 3 weeks between this and Avengers.
This came out in April 2012.
And I think Avengers came out May 2012. So there must literally have been about 3 or 4 weeks. I mean, the what is it? I can't remember what they call it, but it's almost like the rollover business,
Something like that.
something like that, where one film benefits from another, depending on if it's the director, actor, so on and so forth.
Drew Goddard made this.
Directed,
Yeah.
yeah,
I always thought it was
Okay.
Joss Whedon.
just wrote it, didn't he?
He just wrote
Yeah,
it
yeah,
with
yeah.
Drew Goddard.
But it's got that obviously affiliation. Like it's got Joss Whedon all over it, right?
Drew Goddard has worked with Joss. He wrote a lot of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So
Oh,
obviously
okay.
they go way back.
Cool.
But it's really good fun. It's a really unique film. It's the kind of film, once you've seen it, the last 20 minutes will live with you for the week.
And
beyond.
the rest. Like as I say, like that twist from onwards, like it can change your opinion of horror film, particularly slasher movies from the 80s and 90s. Like it changes that. Like, and I think like the whole idea of there's just something so fun about a controller, like being like, all right, we need to. The ritual sacrifice has to happen, otherwise the world goes. Right, we lose the world. The devil will come and take the world. So we need to do this every year. So we're going to make it basically like a reality TV show. And it's just them sitting in a control room, just being like, "Who are we going to have this year? The Merman." And it's just that whole running joke of like the Merman and stuff. Just is hilarious. It's just so well done. You know what it reminded me of? There's a film that came out early 2000s called 13 Ghosts. I don't know if did you ever see that?
I've heard of that.
It's like it was a proper like 2000 early 2000s horror movie, and the whole idea is it's 13 ghosts that get captured by this like billionaire who's really interested in phantasm and all that lot. And so he basically captures 13 ghosts. He has a room that lives downstairs. They're all in glass houses. And the DVD of that has short films around all of those 13 ghosts, and they go into a lot of detail about it. There's odd parallels between this and 13 Ghosts, in as much as the biggest intrigue about 13 Ghosts is the fact there's 13 of them, and they all have lore and they all have like stories around them that was intriguing. It made them kind of beasties in their own right. This has that same element of there is a familiar version of every horror movie villain over 80s, 70s, 80s and 90s that you go, oh, I see where that's come from, or that's the Jason Voorhees character, or that's the Anaconda character, like that's the big snake from Anaconda, and it's the all of that is played into this. And so because of that, you have this like weird nostalgic trip of also being like, oh, I really want to see, who's in the genie lamp. Or what about the ballerina with no face? Or that has just no face but all teeth. And you're like, this is so much fun. Like it's just weird fun that just completely subverts your expectations.
Yeah. I think
It is good fun.
that's very well.
It's where we can take Cabin in the Woods, right?
Film that also subverted expectations.
Pokemon Detective Pikachu.
Oh, I was talking about The Last Jedi.
Oh, you want to go? What do you want to go for? Do you want to spend 5 minutes on
Well, that was a good segue.
Pokemon Detective Pikachu?
No. You said subvert expectations, and then I said, well, that's like what The Last Jedi is known for.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. Okay, well then we'll stick with that segue, shall we?
Okay. Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
Yeah, I've literally just put lol, it's very fine and no more than that. And I think you would put lol, I hate it. So
I don't hate it. It just ruined Star Wars. And it will never recover from this film. But it's quite a well-made film, and it's an interesting place to take Star Wars.
This is the most positive I think I've ever heard you speak about this movie.
It's quite late.
We don't have the time.
Well, like it came out 8 years ago, nearly, and I am now an old man
Who has rejected Star Wars now? Would you say?
I will never reject it. I just won't invest myself emotionally into it. No.
Did you have an emotional feeling towards it though when it first came out?
No. I remember the trailers and thinking, this is interesting. But it was strange watching this film because The Force Awakens only came out 2 years before, and I'd kind of forgotten a lot of it, which was quite weird for me. And then I watched Rogue
You've seen
One.
A New Hope though, right?
And I loved Rogue One. So it wasn't. I had a weird relationship with.
Oh, this was it. The time that Star Wars releasing a film every year.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So The Last Jedi came out, and I remember very much looking forward to it. and I was kind of baffled by it, but not like in a horrible way. And it was only when Luke Skywalker turned to be a hologram that I kind of was disgusted by it in a way. And I was just like, this film is just weird. And then you kind of reflect on everything else when you finish the film, and you're like, that didn't feel like Star Wars at all. And then it was interesting because it was the first time I think I really went on the internet to see the opinions of the internet. And it was very obviously up in the air and very toxic, I suppose, and it ruined Star Wars, this, that, and the other. And I kind of agree that it kind of puts Star Wars in a little box that it will never really be able to escape from, because it kind of killed the legacy of the original trilogy, or at least started it. So I don't. I hate the direction.
Sorry,
Star Wars.
in what way?
Well, it kind of everything, all the joys of the original trilogy, kind of like ended with that film, with like Luke dying, and obviously there was no more Leia because of what happened to Carrie Fisher, and I don't know. It kind of left Star Wars in like a bleak place story wise. So yeah, I don't think it's really recovered from that film. But that's not to say that the film is terrible. The Rise of Skywalker is. This film just, I blame kind of more the vision of Lucasfilm at this point than necessarily Rian Johnson. I don't think Rian Johnson was really the guy who should have helmed a film like this.
So I think
But
this.
it's interesting looking back.
So I think a lot of the blame for Star Wars is in the hands of J.J. Abrams. In as much as he was given this responsibility, he made one and then decided that he wasn't going to fulfill the, let's say, expectations of a trilogy. I'm a big believer that, particularly when you're looking at things that are like trilogies, duologies, quadrilogies, if you announce them as trilogies or quadrilogy or whatever, you have to have an element of consistency in your storytelling and view then ultimately as a sum of its parts.
Yeah.
So I very much like when I watch like you can't ignore the parallels, for instance, between Force Awakens and A New Hope. There's an element then that then people perhaps thinking, oh, are we going to see then like an Empire Strikes Back equivalent of
That was
Jedi?
the big expectation.
That was the big expectations going in, and so on and so forth. Now the biggest problem is why I blame Abrams is like he basically stepped away from Force Awakens, having made that carbon copy. He kind of set those expectations. Then obviously Rian Johnson comes in, does his own thing, and I'm not as wed to the original lore, I think, as like you are. Like, you know, there's a lot of conversations around like what it should have done, what it shouldn't have done.
Yeah.
I'm kind of very much a case of, again, some of its parts. There were some choices, obviously, that were made in The Last Jedi that I think you could have paid off in Rise had it been a consistent thought. My biggest problem with The Last Jedi isn't necessarily what happens in it, but the fact that they absolutely lose their like credibility by retconning it. Like the worst part about Last Jedi for me is all the stuff that happens with Finn on that gambling planet. That don't make any sense to me. I don't like that stuff. Just didn't interest me. I remember sitting in the cinema going, "What is happening with this scene?" It didn't make sense. The other stuff, the stuff that goes on with, is it Snoke? Like all that stuff for me was semi interesting because I was like, "Well, that was weird. Like that's quite new." But what I really hated, and this is a hindsight thing, was what they did with Rise, where they retconned it all, and I was just like, just understand what you did, JJ. Understand that you didn't view this like a trilogy. You announced it as a trilogy, but you didn't approach it like a trilogy. And so because of that, you did end up with two very, very different films. Like a film then that was built on the expectations because you made Force Awakens, that this would be an Empire Strikes Back equivalent, which it wasn't. And then because of that then, everyone panicked because it was so polarizing between like everything, critical perception, audience perception, all of it was all over the place.
Sorry.
This was Last Jedi.
Last Jedi
now.
Yeah.
And then obviously everything happens with Rise in terms of them retconning it and then bringing it all back and just basically ignoring all the story changes, which you didn't have the confidence or time to kind of put in place. And I think like that for me is the biggest issue. As I say, I think Last Jedi is just fine. I wasn't overwhelmed. I wasn't whelmed with it. I just thought it was. I just thought, cool. Like, this is interesting. Let's see what happens in the third one. And I think it was based on that expectation of this is a trilogy. It's a sum of its parts, like dialogue. What makes Last Jedi worse for me is the fact that they didn't make it a sum of its part. They just got scared of it, and then they just acted like it didn't exist.
It's hard to really decipher who is to blame. Like, a lot of people blame J.J. Abrams, a lot of people blame Rian Johnson, a lot of people blame Kathleen Kennedy, a lot of people blame Disney. And it's kind of bits of everybody.
I think it's just overall, it's an overarching argument that it's like, you should have approached this like a trilogy.
I think if Rian Johnson is going to make the second film based on everything he did, he really should have done the third.
Yeah. Or at least get someone, or at least hand over those story reins, or at least have a writer that's consistent between all three, right?
Because he kind of, I mean, it probably sounds harsh, but it's like he was given a car and then just crashed it into a wall and then just like, oh, I'll get the bus, someone else can drive the car. And they were just like, okay,
I don't think I'd go that extreme.
Okay,
I think I'd be more like,
what do we do?
He's driving a car and then he took a different exit off the motorway. That's probably a different way of describing it. Because I don't think he didn't necessarily car crash it. There are obviously things in there that fans are going to disagree with.
I think,
but then you've got people like me who's not too wed to the law, and I'm just kind of like, all right, I'm happy to see what you do with this.
It put Star Wars in a direction where it just felt like, where do we go from here? That was like kind of the big issue. It's like,
well, that's why I say it's a sum of its parts, right? Yeah. Like, and I think that's where it's missing, because I think if somebody had then picked up the third one, having continued on perhaps some of these, had some of the justification for some of the points in the second one. Like the problem is that Rise retcons so hard that it makes the criticisms of the first ones biggest
retcon of all time.
Yeah, and it just makes it more more visible.
I think I've just come to the conclusion after, it's been nearly 10 years since Force Awakens, which is kind of stunning. That
isn't it?
You can't really judge this film without the other two.
Yeah.
So, as a trilogy, it's kind of emphasising the point I've already made. It's just sort of like a destructive mess that kind of just derails Star Wars. And that's kind of the biggest crime, because it's quite a precious thing to a lot of people, as you might know.
Yeah.
I'm not even just talking about my feelings towards it. It's like an important thing for millions of people.
Yeah, oh God, yeah. No. It's a phenomenon, isn't it?
You handle it so, like, carelessly, I suppose is the best way. And, I don't know where you sort of go from here. You're kind of left. Like, where does it go to take the story forward instead of just sort of like Andor, for example, is kind of focusing on a little part of Star Wars, like a little timeline.
It's filling in gaps rather than actually.
Where do you go?
It.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's my take.
Okay. Okay. No, I think it's a good take to have, though. That could have descended into chaos. I'm very proud of us.
I'm an older man now.
Let's do the last one then. The last one on the list is
the last film.
Pokemon Detective Pikachu, and then we can actually start to rank some of these, hey?
Yes, so...
Is this the best video game movie adaptation before we got Super Mario last year?
No. Oh, no. Do you know what I was having this chat with my son the other day.
Oh, God.
He's only 3. But I think the Sonic trilogy is like a work of art. It's brilliant.
Okay.
Like the whole trilogy. But the third one in particular.
Okay. I've only seen the first one, actually. I did like the first one.
It's perfect, because what you do is, I mean, the story behind Sonic... Sorry, this is turning into a Sonic chat. But do you know about the production where they made Sonic look hideous and they actually delayed the release to fix it, which is quite admirable for Paramount to do? So you've got that story, and then they're just really charming, family-friendly entertainment with the genius inclusion of Jim Carrey. Because what you do is with Jim Carrey, you basically get older fans or just dads who will remember Jim Carrey from their youth, and then everyone's having a good time.
Yeah,
I think that was brilliant. But that's my take on video game films.
I forgot about Sonic, actually, to be honest. When I was thinking about this, I was more thinking of Silent Hill,
Resident Evil 1 and 2.
Resident Evil, and yeah, the less said about like most of the horror movies from the early 2000s, the better. But like, I'm talking like that era.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Video game adaptations have never done that
I
well.
haven't seen the Super Mario films or the
Super,
film.
Super Mario is pretty good. It's
Yeah.
actually good fun. Surprisingly fun. More,
Yeah.
it's actually quite funny as well. But yes, Pokemon
yeah,
Detective Pikachu.
This is up there.
This-
I thoroughly enjoyed this film.
This is definitely a Ryan Reynolds vehicle more than anything
Very.
else. And I think that is quite an impressive thing considering this is also a Pokemon movie. You would have thought Pokemon would supersede it, but because it's Ryan Reynolds voicing Pikachu, that for some reason launched Ryan Reynolds even higher into the stratosphere, right?
Yeah.
This
was after
contextually,
the
what is this? 2019.
2 Deadpool films.
So 2 Deadpool films have gone at this point. 20th Century Fox had just been bought by.
Yes.
So you're also looking at the future of Deadpool. So he's really trying to go high. This is just before Free Guy.
Yes.
So in terms of where Ryan Reynolds is in his Renaissance,
Get it out.
Renaissance. I've said it.
You literally have Ryansons.
Renaissance. It's not
Yeah.
a Ryan Johnson Renaissance, is it?
It's called
not
Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds. Well, yeah, true. Different spelling though.
Renaissance.
They're both called Ryan. This is a pointless thing to be discussing. It's just fun. Interesting. It's a fun story. It's a fun way to just integrate.
Probably a little bit too deep for a lot of people.
The end is weird.
Like, when all the
it's
Bulbasaurs
so
came
mystifying.
out, when all the Bulbasaurs came out the river, that was the moment I was very happy.
Yeah, it's got a good. It's a weird. It's actually what is it the most successful animation live action combination since Roger Rabbit?
No, Space Jam 1. Classic.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. What about Space Jam 2? Oh, no,
That's
that was
the
post.
worst
That was
film.
post 2019.
That
Wasn't
was honestly, I'm not even exaggerating when I say this. That is the worst film I've ever seen at the cinema.
it? What?
It was so bad. I saw Space Jam 2 because
Is it worse than Mike Bassett England Manager?
it was. I've not. That's meant to be a classic.
I absolutely hated that. I walked out of that.
I saw Space Jam 2 during COVID because me and my brother were so desperate for like our cinema fix. We spent 18 quid each on those tickets.
What?
And it was the worst thing I've ever seen. Honestly, it was so bad. It was everything wrong with modern cinema films, whatever you want to call it. Dread. Have you seen it?
No,
Oh,
I don't
please
want to
watch
go near it.
I'd be fascinated what you think.
No,
especially
I remember
the last
speaking.
act. Dreadful.
I think the guy I used to write reviews with, he was just like, "This is the most corporate thing you'll ever see."
Yes, it is. It's honestly so embarrassing.
Yeah. Oh man, no, it's.
I can't even honestly. I can't think of anything worse in my life. In my long years.
So Detective Pikachu is actually better than Space Jam 2.
Space Jam 2 makes Detective Pikachu look like Spider-Man in the multiverse.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's just fun, right?
It's good fun.
It's hard to do.
Yeah.
I think
It redeemed
Spider-Verse is better.
the actor who plays the lead human because he got a lot of hate for Jurassic World 2, which I remember.
Yes. Yeah. Wasn't he like the scientist?
Yeah, he was like a scientist, but he was like screaming for like all his scenes.
Yes.
And then he made this film, which kind of like
Justice
redeemed
Smith?
That's the one.
That's right. And he's all right. Justice Smith has actually turned into quite a good actor. It's got Bill Nye in it, isn't it? Forgot about Bill. He's Mew, isn't he, or something? Oh no, he's Howard Clifford that I think then turns into Mew.
But yeah, Detective Pikachu, I think I use this film as the kind of the renaissance again of video game adaptations, because before this, video game adaptations were basically derided.
It was touted as the best video game adaptation
and
at the time.
since this, we've had this film, we've had Super
Sonic.
Mario, the Sonic trilogy, and then in TV, obviously we've got Fallout, The Last of Us. Have you seen
And Borderlands?
Yeah. Have you seen Weapons yet?
No, it's supposed to be awesome.
Zach Cregger, it's brilliant. It's possibly my favourite film of the year.
Better than Sinners?
I think so. Possibly.
What?
It's really good. It does have Beware of Darkness by George Harrison at the start, so I was immediately in love with the film.
Okay.
And to be fair, the song fits perfectly with the film.
Okay.
I couldn't stop thinking about it. Anyway, but Zach Cregger, the director of Barbarian and Weapons, he is making the new Resident Evil film,
Wow.
I believe.
Okay.
So this is what I mean. Video game,
It's changed now.
it's attracting
Yeah.
acclaimed directors,
Yeah.
not just Paul W.S. Anderson
Yeah.
and Uwe Boll.
Yeah. Who is making the second Silent Hill movie? Do you know they're doing a sequel and Uwe Boll's been brought back to do it?
Oh my god.
Unbelievable.
That's hilarious.
Unbelievable.
Isn't that like the worst film ever made?
One of them. One of them. And I saw Silent Hill at the cinema. Honestly.
you?
Yeah, it had Sean Bean in it.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh man, that was a bad movie.
I remember it
That was a
coming out.
bad movie. Yeah. It's not as bad as Afraid of the Dark with Slater.
Christian
Christian
Slater.
Slater. Yeah. Are You Afraid of the Dark? It's awful.
He was better in True Romance.
Oh, yeah.
Is that everything?
That
Yeah,
is
that's
everything. Let's rank this, shall we?
Yeah.
Right. So, let's
this is
start from
very
the top, work our way through. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Is it better than Bicentennial Man?
Sorry, we're doing the worst.
Should we do worst to best? Let's
Yeah.
do worst. Right. So worst on the list.
I would say the worst film on this list is
Country Mile was Bicentennial Man.
Bicentennial Man. Yeah.
Yes. Awful film.
thought
Glad
you
it
liked
exists. Awful film. What?
I thought you liked it. You just think it's terrible.
I did not like it. No, it's not great. Like I'm pleased it exists.
Would you rather watch
It's
this
baffling.
or Flubber?
Flubber?
Oh, interesting.
Like without a doubt.
I watched Flubber last year because I was on a Robin Williams run. My God, it's terrible. Talk about nostalgia, like brainwashing you.
Oh.
But
I tell you what, I genuinely think there's more fun in 1 hour photo than there is in Bicentennial Man. So yeah, Bicentennial Man is the worst film on this list by far. Right, next on the list.
Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
Do you know what? I agree.
None of the
Oddly.
other films make me like angry or disappointed. in
Yeah,
the way
I actually
this
think
film does.
this is one of those lists that is actually going to be harder at the top end than I think this bottom, because I would probably say fifth. I would probably say Detective Pikachu.
I agree. Everything else on this list is like pretty good to great.
But also pretty good to great within their genre.
Yeah.
You know? So actually when you compare them, it's like really hard to compare like Django with Into the Spider-Verse. It's almost impossible to make those comparisons, but
I would probably have Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse next.
no.
I would rather watch
much higher than that.
the others.
No, I would say probably next on my list would be Cabin in the Woods. No, I'd actually put True Romance next
Ooh.
at 4. For the reason that I enjoy it and it's fun, but
Nah, True Romance is better than Cabin in the Woods.
I think Cabin in the Woods does more fun things.
But True Romance is Brad
I
Pitt
think,
in it.
but I think that True Romance is a
It's got James
lesser
Gandolfini.
Tarantino film.
Patricia Arquette's really, really pretty in it.
But Cabin in the Woods has Chris Hemsworth driving a motorcycle into a electric fence. You can't ignore that because it is one of the funniest movies, like funniest parts in a movie. I think I've just justified it. I've justified that 4 is True Romance and 3 is Cabin in the Woods. I think I've just done it.
No.
Yes.
I think for the fact
And also Richard Jenkins and Bradley
I
Whitford.
can't really see my phone anymore. No, I can't put True Romance below Cabin in the
Oh,
Woods.
you can.
I can't. It's a
You
much
can.
better
I mean, look at the area, the issue that you have with the back third of True Romance.
Yeah, but the first half of True Romance is like amazing. It's the moment.
Yeah, but the second half of Cabin in the Woods is amazing.
It's the moment they meet the curly-haired guy from Friends, the cop, Michael Rapaport.
Oh, when they go to LA.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the moment we meet him, the film starts to kind of. I'm not
That
saying
is
I'm not.
before the halfway point.
No, it isn't.
It is.
No, I'm not. I'm not saying it turns bad.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it drops from its like mastery.
So this is the thing. Cabin in the Woods is good, and then by the time it gets to the halfway point, it's better. It just
It's a lot more-
keeps
it's a lot more-
ascending into awesome. Like you walk away from Cabin in the Woods thoroughly happy with what you've seen.
I mean, I would much rather watch True Romance overall than Cabin in the Woods.
No.
But
I think if you're looking at this list, True Romance is not a Tarantino movie. It's a Tarantino written movie, but it's not a Tarantino movie.
Yeah.
Django proves that the combination of both is a better film, which is why it's higher. But the reason why I bring that up is because the combination of Joss Whedon, Drew Goddard, Cabin in the Woods, the genre it's playing in, it completely defies expectations. It's not what you expect it's going to be. It's bloody good fun. And it cannot be picked apart in a way that True Romance can. And I think because of that, it is a better film than True Romance.
No.
Yes.
But I will just agree to disagree.
Because it's
I'll
12 o'clock.
I'll agree to disagree
It
to
is
agree.
midnight. Yes, so True Romance, then Cabin in the Woods, and
You've got me on Insomnia.
Okay. I hate to say this aloud because it's probably dumb, but I am going to stand by it. I think the best film on this list is Into the Spider-Verse.
No. But it's a very hard. It's a very hard shout. But Django Unchained is better.
No.
Why?
Into the Spider-Verse does insane things in the animation world.
Django
It is one
does
of the
insane
best
things in.
It's
a western. Like westerns don't work anymore, and it's like one of the best films of the 2010s.
Hateful Eight is better.
And he made that.
Hateful Eight is better.
Well, it's
than
not
Django.
better, but it's. I do love the Hateful Eight.
And in terms of a western, Hateful Eight I think is better in that regard. I think Django is a good action movie that also happens to be a western. I think it's more action movie than western, whereas Hateful Eight is.
I cannot put
western.
a Quentin Tarantino,
particularly the
written and directed masterpiece over Spider-Man in any context.
Which is like one of the greatest animated movies ever made.
Yeah, it's still not as good as Django. Toy Story 2's a fucking masterpiece that I've watched 4 billion times. It's not as good as Django. It's got Leonardo DiCaprio's possibly his best performance. I can't even name an actor other than Nicolas Cage in Spider-Man. It's a great achievement, Spider-Man, but it's not as good as Django. Stop it. I relented on Cabin in the Woods. I put True Romance below Cabin in the Woods. Relent.
No, I don't want to relent.
I will do the Temple of Doom chess.
A few episodes ago, I think you made me put a film that I actually quite enjoyed at the bottom of the list. I think you made me put, what was it? Cruel Intentions as like the worst film you've ever seen, and I had it mid-pack.
It's a terrible film.
But Into the Spider-Verse is so good.
It's really good, but it's not as good as Django. It's like
Didn't
it's like me.
isn't Into the Spider-Verse also the Oscar winner?
Django won for best screenplay, and again,
It didn't win best film.
Christoph Waltz won best supporting actor. No, you're not winning this.
I still think Into the Spider-Verse.
It's like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and The Shining.
No, it's not.
They're both amazing.
It's
but
like
One
Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and The Matrix. They're not comparable in any way, shape, or form. But that's the point of the show. Is we're comparing two films within genres that should not be compared. But we've got to make a decision over what is better.
Well, Django is better in
Who has a better soundtrack?
Django.
The Spider-Verse soundtrack, man, is phenomenal.
But Django's is great.
I'm not denying it.
I mean, it's slightly plagiarism of its name, but I got a name. I got a name. Who's the guy that's running to town?
I mean, I can't deny the fact that actually Django is a great film, but I wonder if I have a bit of recency bias with this as well. Into the Spider-Verse is something I watched quite recently.
No, Django's far better in every sense.
I don't think it's far better. I think you're looking
again,
at
again, they're very different films.
I mean, the last few years, I've definitely watched Into the Spider-Verse much more than I've seen Django Unchained.
I mean, Django's pretty long.
Most of Tarantino's stuff I keep to a minimum amount of watches because I don't want to ruin them. Same with Nolan's stuff. I try and keep them to a minimum amount of watches so I don't.
I think the last time I saw Django was 2 years ago. I loved it. It gets better every time I watch it, which is probably the best thing you can say about a film.
So is Into the Spider-Verse.
You're not going to win this. It's 23:59.
Then I will
Relent.
I will then beat you in the war of attrition. Whoever stays up later. Who will concede?
Well, I'm at home, so I can just go to bed.
I can. Do you want to play that game? I don't have to go home. You try and shift me out of this seat.
No, I think. Listen,
Yeah, fuck it. Let's do Django's number one.
Thank you. Hey. This is where we need that sound thing to do the clapping noise.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we just spend a lot of money on a soundboard that we won't know how to use. Okay, let's wrap this up then, shall we? Right, so let's do a final countdown, shall we? So at number 7, we had Bicentennial Man.
Shocker.
Number 6, we had Pokemon Detective Pikachu.
Which is quite...
That's a lie. That's a lie. Sorry. Let's start this again. So, number 7, we had Bicentennial Man. At number 6, we had The Last Jedi. At number 5, we had Pokemon Detective Pikachu. Number 4, we had True Romance. Number 3, Cabin in the Woods. Number 2, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. And at number 1, Django Unchained. This has got to be another list where Tarantino is pretty high up, or is not as won this list. Can you remember what our last 9 or 10 episodes? Tarantino must have been quite high up.
I don't think we've done that many about Tarantino.
Are we not? I swear
today.
we've had a bit of chat about Tarantino. Anyway, thank you for taking part in the latest episode of Such a Ranker. How do you rate our list? We are more interested in what you guys have to say than what we've had to say. So anything would be interesting to hear your thoughts on. Would you do anything differently? We would love to hear your opinions. So please take care, and we'll see you soon.
Ta-ra!